the problem with MMOs today. This is the biggest problem.
Every single MMO developer out there treats the level up experience in their game like it's some big, giant, boring grind that just needs to be sludged through in order to get to end game because, oh yeah, that's where the real fun is. How many MMOs exist nowadays where you start playing it because your friends are all playing it, you get to like level 15 or something, you're bored out of your mind, and your friends are like, nah, dude, like, you gotta get to level 60, you gotta get to level 80, you gotta get to level 200 something before the fun really starts. What kind of garbage is that? A video game needs to be fun and entertaining from the moment that you log in to the moment that you log out. Otherwise...
Exactly. Yeah, this shit that people say about how, oh, the game's only good at max level. Bitch, it should be good at level 1. Level 1, it should be good. Level 5, it's still good. Level 10, it's getting better.
What the heck is even the point of playing it? If you have to go through 500 hours of crap and garbage just to get to a few hours of fun, that's not a good game. And this is something that I've been thinking about a lot for the past several weeks ever since I started playing Classic WoW Hardcore. You see, in this version of World of Warcraft, you're trying to hit level 70 without dying, and if you do die, you have to delete your character right after. And this has created an extraordinarily challenging way to play the game that has hooked thousands of players. In fact, the community has been growing so fast recently that Blizzard is even releasing official hardcore realms. I just made a video on that recently.
That's not confirmed, but it's all but confirmed.
Go check that one out. But you know, as I've been doing Classic WoW Hardcore, and as I've been dying, and I've been having to restart in Durotar and Tirisfal Glades, Dunmorrow, Elwyn Forest, whatever, as I've been having to do the same starting zones over and over again, I've never gotten bored of it. And I'm talking with all these people in guilds and in the general chat, and they're not bored of it either. People will say, oh yeah, this is my 20th character. Oh yeah, this is my 10th character. Here we go again, Durotar for the 17th time, and they're not bored of it. And why is that? If you told me that I had to level up through Battle for Azeroth...
I think that the reason why a lot of people don't get bored of it is because you're talking to an audience of people that absolutely love the game. Because I think that if you asked and you did a poll in like maybe this chat, you know, how do you feel about leveling through Elwyn Forest again? I think it's going to be pretty low. And like another good example of this is like Season of Mastery. Whenever Season of Mastery released, it was pretty much dead on arrival. A lot of people didn't want to do it because they had already done it before. So the people that are hardcore players of Classic WoW, they are going to be like it's like you talk about like concentric circles. This is a very, very core level concentric circle.
Or Shadowlands again in retail WoW, I would tear my eyes out. But if you told me, oh hey, you gotta do Tirisfal Glades for the 10,000th time since you started playing this game in 2005, wouldn't bother me one bit. I would say, dude, let's do it. I'd make that.
I do think that Classic WoW is the only MMO that I played like ever. And I didn't play a lot of the old MMOs, so like you can't really count that. Is the only MMO that I've ever played that the leveling experience is actually part of the game and it matters. That's not true in New World. It's not true in Lost Ark. It's not true really in Final Fantasy. It's just basically in all of those games, the level up experience is just simply a formality.
Undead rogue or that undead mage, and I dive right in. And why is that? Blizzard back in the day clearly had a completely different mindset when it came to the level up experience in World of Warcraft. They wanted...
Well, MMOs had a completely different mindset. It wasn't even just Blizzard. Blizzard was just part of that group.
The leveling to be fun. They knew that you were going to spend untold numbers of hours just trying to get to level 60, and they wanted to make sure that that adventure hooked you right from the beginning. And there's a...
Yeah, my mom, whenever she hit level 60, she had slash played of 50 days. 50 fucking days. 50 times 24. That's how many hours she spent in the game before she even hit level 60. That is a fucking triumph. that an MMO can hook people and have people play the game that long before they even hit max level. That doesn't fucking happen in Dragonflight. It didn't happen in Shadowlands or BFA either.
A lot that we could talk about
just
that
playing
has
the game.
lended to that hook. What causes it? The first things for me that come to mind, like, oh, you know, why do I like Classic WoW leveling so much, even like in starting zones? I would say, well, I love the fact that all the gear matters and is relevant.
Yeah, the reason why is because it's hard and frustrating. That's unironically the reason why leveling in Classic WoW is actually part of the game. It's because you are actually going to get fucked by certain quests. You actually need a group to do Hogger. You actually are not going to be able to do Lieutenant Fangor whenever you go to Red Ridge Mountains and he's level 27 and you're level 18. You just figured out, like, you didn't even know what level he was until you hit level 18. That's why. It's because it's fucking hard. And each class can't do everything. The reason why class identity was the strongest in Classic WoW wasn't because certain classes were good at one thing. It's because certain classes were shit at everything else. So you want big AoE? You get a fucking mage. You want really good absorb shields? You get a fucking you get a fucking priest. You want massive damage? Get a warrior or a rogue. And that's only if it's really geared out. If you want massive damage early on, get a mage. And that's how it is. So Classic WoW created a lot of compelling design through actually things that were kind of bad design. It's like a weird, like, catch-22. It's bad, but it turns out to be good. It's very hard to know how to do that in the right way.
I love learning my new class abilities and seeing what's coming next. I love earning, you know, the dual wielding as a rogue at level 10, the Void Walker as a warlock. I like earning that first green robe as a priest when you get to Brill and Tirisfal Glades, getting your first green item drop out in the world. There's so much to say. Every single time you level a new character in WoW, it's a memorable experience. You go out, you pick up professions in order to
also, like, so like in Lost Ark, for example, besides like tier 1, 2, and 3 jumps, so this is Lost Ark's, this is their leveling progression, okay? Or their item progression. It's like this. With like maybe one jump right here whenever you get like your new set piece, maybe one jump right here whenever you get another set piece, and that's about it. But the reason why WoW Classic leveling felt so good is that, let's see, Warrior, Staff of Westfall, Whirlwind Axe, Ravager. And you know what? These points right here felt like shit. But they felt also really fucking good whenever you were right here, and right here. That's why.
Your character even stronger than the guy next to you, you take the time to mine those nodes or skin those wolves or whatever. And
there's advantages to each one, by the way. It's not like Lost Ark is bad and Classic WoW is good. There are advantages to each one.
You feel like a badass walking around in the gear that you crafted yourself with a sharpened weapon that you have sharpened with your own two hands. And I don't know, everything feels impactful. Everything feels like it's worth doing.
Because the game is such a
contrast to modern World of Warcraft and other modern MMOs.
Because we're picking up professions,
that's why. Or getting new pieces of gear or whatever is completely meaningless. It's completely meaningless. It has no impact whatsoever. It does not make the mobs less dangerous. It does not even make the level up experience feel like it's going faster. If anything, maybe you're killing mobs like 0.001% faster. That's how it feels.
Yeah.
And it's boring. If I'm playing an Orc,
like, I still remember how good it felt whenever I got Staff of Jordan, because I already had my warrior leveled up. And I bought Staff of Jordan to give to my Warlock whenever I hit level 35. I still remember that. Holy fuck, that was amazing.
Avatar, and I'm leaving Razor Hill, and I'm a miner and a blacksmith and I'm a warrior. I'm thinking about several things. I'm thinking, man, I really need to get healing potions. Those would be very useful for me when I face Fizzle down in like the canyons later on down the road. Hey, while I'm at Northwatch Keep, or whatever that little human like castle is, I need to be gathering linen cloth to level up my first aid. That's going to be very useful to me as a warrior. I need to keep my eyes out for mining nodes because I need to create a new copper vest. I need to level up my blacksmithing. I want to make that.
Remember how many of you guys back in Classic WoW, you played a warrior and you made the green iron halberd? I remember I made that and I used it until like level 45. I remember that item so fucking well. It was so good, wasn't it? It was fucking broken.
That green two-handed axe that's going to make me unkillable for so many levels. Yeah. I'm thinking about all this stuff on top of the quests that I have to do, on top of the fact that I'm in the world, I'm planning out my route. You're more engaged with the game. And this is something that I wish that the modern game had. And so I've been sitting here pondering on that engagement.
The problem is that I don't even think Classic had that in a lot of ways. Because every single player, whenever given the option, they always picked paying a mage to run them through dungeons. And whenever that wasn't an option in Season of Mastery, it died. Because the people that enjoy this it's a small group of people. It is. A lot of people like the, get to end game, do all the normal activities. That, I think, is what the norm is. Now, personally, I can appreciate both of them in different ways, but there is a big part of me that misses how it was in Classic, where the game began at level 1 and not level 60.
Asking myself, do I feel this way when I play Dragonflight, for example? When I'm leveling a new character on the Dragon Isles?
I actually enjoyed leveling in Dragonflight. I thought it was fun. Now, I don't like leveling in multiple times, right? I mean, I didn't like that in Classic either. But I thought Dragonflight leveling was actually very well designed, and it was the best leveling experience I've had in World of Warcraft since Warlords of Draenor. I think it was better than Legion, better than BFA, better than Shadowlands.
Not really. I would say that leveling in Dragonflight is way better than WoW has been in the past few years. It's a lot of fun. There's all these cool systems that you can unlock, new things to do. But speaking for me, when I was leveling in Dragonflight, there was no moment where I freaked out and I got really excited, kind of like you do when you get your first 6-slot bag dropping off of a wolf in Dun Morogh. Something...
Yeah, I mean, like, you maybe feel like, oh, wow, cool, whenever you get, like, a legend or a purple upgrade. A purple upgrade of a quest item or something like that. Like, oh, cool, great, I got a really good item. But, like, it doesn't really matter. And the reason why it doesn't matter is because it's so easy that if you have a green one, you're still going to kill it. You're still going to clear it. It doesn't make a difference. So I talk about a bag, damn it. No, I think that if you played Classic WoW and you actually went through it, especially back in the day, you probably did get excited about the first big bag that you looted from, like, an NPC or, like, some quest reward or something like that. You definitely did.
Where you're like, wow, this is going to be extremely useful to me in the future. I am happy that this happened. This is great. It just changed my entire strategy playing forward in the game. I don't know. There was never really a moment like that for me in Dragonflight. In Star Wars The Old Republic, a game I recently just leveled through.
No, but I also think that Dragonflight is good in a different way. Dragonflight delivers a cohesive narrative that makes sense and it's fun to play through at least once. I actually think that the Dragonflight questing experience is totally fine. It's not the same as Classic WoW. It's just not the same thing. However, I think that the Dragonflight questing experience is actually very good.
Didn't really have a moment like that. Even in Elder Scrolls Online, a game that I really enjoy, ESO, you don't really have those moments. Modern MMOs just treat the level up experience like it's just a chore. And if you're gonna treat the level up content like it's just this boring grind that needs to be just drudged through, why even have it in the first place? Just have players start at max.
And that was the thing that people asked in Shadowlands. Why do we even have to level up multiple characters? What's the point of this? And people were even asking this in BFA. And like now in Dragonflight, leveling up an alt takes like a few hours. It doesn't really matter. And even like you didn't even really need to level up. You just had to go through the new quests. If you went through all of the new quests and you followed the main story quest, the MSQ of Dragonflight, you will be max level. And I actually think that the way they did it was totally good. It's not the same as Classic though.
Level and just jump right into the end game. What is the purpose of early game? Early game in an MMO should fill you with a sense of adventure.
I think this was something that like I was really happy that I didn't try to power level and play through Lost Ark as fast as possible. And I got a chance, like it was really fun that first month of Lost Ark because people were playing so many different versions of the game based off of what their progression was. And the game only got boring until whenever everybody was at tier 3, farming the same dungeons, doing the same stuff, waiting for the same boss. Yeah, the release of Lost Ark was fucking awesome. Because you did have a little bit of this, because you'd have to spend a lot of time like grinding through islands and like farming through chaos dungeons and the tower in order to get from like tier 1 to tier 2 or tier 2 to tier 3. Like the questing experience was super easy and it didn't matter in the same way that Classic WoW did. It's like a completely different level. But I do think the first month of Lost Ark was really great.
Game should be teaching you how to play your class. Early game should be introducing you to the lore, to the world, the mechanics of the game. It should be introducing you to treasures and moments that make you go, whoa, that was awesome. In an MMORPG, a game all about leaving this world, you know, behind and immersing ourselves into a whole new world, an MMO needs to cultivate a feeling of going on an adventure. And modern games compared to older MMOs just don't have that. There's barely any
going on an adventure. I think Elden Ring, you go on an adventure in Elden Ring. I think that from what I've heard, you go on an adventure in Breath of the Wild. Don't quote me on that. I didn't play it. I think you also go on an adventure in Final Fantasy XIV with the questing. But it's a different kind of adventure. Valheim, you go on an adventure as well. I would agree with that. Yeah.
Many MMOs that really adhere to this formula and made it like a core concept of their gameplay. You have early World of Warcraft, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars Galaxies, and you know, what other ones are there? I don't really remember. Maybe Warhammer Online when it first came out, but that was so long ago. I don't remember.
It was like 2008
It's just fascinating watching all these people playing classic hardcore, dying at level 8, level 10, level 20 or something, and then just starting all over again, same zones, and they have no problem with it. They're just like, oh, cool, let's do it again. And it just really shows how good Blizzard's old school game design was in the fact that it's so replayable. But I'm sure there's...
I think there's also a meta of this too, because like a lot of the people that are doing this are like classic WoW streamers, and if they're not doing this, they're not going to have anything else to stream. So it's like, yeah, they have to do it again because that's what people want to watch. That's it. Like, if they go and they play another game, people are going to leave. That's just how it is. And if they go and they play retail, people are going to leave. That's how it is. So it's like streamers liking it. Like, yes, because like also if it wasn't fun to watch, people wouldn't watch it. But is it being fun to watch, meaning that it's fun to play? There's always it's a content bubble, and there's like nuances to it with streaming as well.
Going to be a lot of people that are going to disagree with that. So that's my rant for the day, fellas. I just wanted to share a few thoughts with you guys, a few little observations that I've seen while playing WoW recently and seeing this big change in the community. What do you guys think, though? Do I have a point? Am I just being silly? And if you don't know anything about classic WoW hardcore, by the way, check out this video. I gave classic WoW hardcore a chance on your screen right now, because in that video I go through my entire adventure from getting killed multiple times, leading level 1 raids, finally getting a girlfriend, and also harassing my friend and desperately trying to teach him how to play WoW.
I might try that out. All right. Well, that's interesting.
Why is it nowadays that...
Yeah, they got me in the second half. Most of the hardcore community. What's this here? Look at the real end goal. Killing a in raid boss without dying. I might be wrong, but that certainly motivated a decent amount of people. Yeah, I mean, I think that Blizzard should make hardcore classic WoW servers. If they did that, I don't really know if I'd play on one. It depends on the kind of content. Like streaming, I stream for fun and I stream because I enjoy it. But if I know my viewers will really enjoy something or really like something, even if I'm not like feeling super compelled to do it, I'll do it anyway because I like making people happy. So yeah, I might try something like that out, but it's in general not something that I like getting into or not something that I really enjoy. It's not even possible to have the adventure aspect anymore because of guides and shit. Yeah, I mean, that's true. However, I think that it's you can at least not look at the guides and have an adventure in Classic WoW nowadays. But even if you don't look at the guides, you're not going to really have much of an adventure in New World. And New World has improved a lot, by the way. It's gotten a lot fucking better, but especially on release. You're not going to have a fucking adventure with this. You're just going to be farming, fish fillets. So yeah, metagaming is too strong. Yeah, metagaming is just way bigger and way different. Now, I think that if Blizzard... I do think that Blizzard, they should do Season of Mastery 2, and they should add a hardcore server. I'm probably not going to play on the hardcore server, but if they add new content at least. If they don't add any new content, then yeah, maybe I might play on it because I don't really think I'm going to really go through everything again just to fucking to do that again. But I really hope they add a Season of Mastery 2 and they start actually making Classic Plus. It's time. It's been time. It's been time for the last 6 months, for the last 8 months, for the last maybe year. Let's get Classic Plus. Let's start re-releasing the game, make it good again, etc. And the two ways to do Classic Plus, I don't think that they are. I think that Classic Plus can happen. Absolutely. Blizzard has actually put in a lot of work into WoW with Dragonflight. Unironically, no meme, no joke, no bullshit. They have put a lot of post-launch work into Dragonflight. And I think that's awesome. I'm really happy to see that. And if they put that energy into Classic WoW, I think it will pay off even more than it has in Dragonflight. I was actually going to watch that video about Preach, about how Dragonflight Shadowlands hurt WoW a lot. I love NXIVM's videos. He has a lot of the same opinions that I do on this kind of stuff.